Yeah, same here, Matt. Thanks so much. Good. And yeah, so with my whole executive assistant sort of changeover, right, when I was trying to hire other people, got a good hire and, grabbed someone through an agency, but really excited with this person. I've gone through all the stuff that you guys have, and I have a call with Erwin tomorrow, but I kind of think I know what I'm supposed to be doing for good onboarding, but I've onboarded before and gone, holy cow, I'm like in the weeds really quickly. And we're looking through the systems and I'm just like, it's like, it gets a bit overwhelming when you look at all those tasks. So I just wanted to see if I get maybe a little pep talk on and a little guidance on how you might start, onboarding someone and simplifying the process.
So do you have all of the different aspects of their role kind of documented and your expectations clear and you have a bit of a playbook for them?
Yeah, we do have playbooks. It's right now it's kind of like, here's what the EA does daily, weekly, and monthly. And then there's playbooks that kind of tell you how to do each part. So like, for example, the inbox has me going through, like at one, we have like labeling system. I've got that all documented out. And then I've got 3 videos showing me going through 3 separate days and different inboxes, because we have 2 different major inboxes that they manage. So it just feels like every time I start to do this, I have all the pieces, but then I feel like there's some stumbling block, and maybe it's a mindset or, it's just like, I feel like onboarding is a place where I don't enjoy doing it because I feel like I'm wasting time. I know I'm not, but it feels like I have all the parts and sometimes I just don't land the plane as well as I could.
Cool. Yeah. So here we go. So, this is an example of an exec admin playbook. This is from Dan Martell, who's a buddy, fellow Canadian. And so I'll share this with you guys in the chat, but this should just give you a sense of give you some inspiration, Tom, in terms of the thoroughness and maybe some sections you want to make sure you have in yours. Okay. So I'm not going to go through this all right now. But this just give you some stuff. I'm not saying you have to have all this in yours, but you should look through this to make sure you cover a lot of the important aspects that you may want to consider having in yours.
Hey, Matt, can you share? Are you sharing this in the chat?
Yeah, yep. Let's share in the chat. Yeah. So
opened up easily for me.
Yeah. So I'll put that in the chat. That's there. You guys can go check that out. So the next aspect, first off, Tom, saying that you're not good at onboarding is kind of going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? And I don't mean to bring it up right now. Yeah. No, so it's all good. So I just would say the thing to do is you gotta, that you're going to be able to get 10x out of someone if they're onboarded correctly. I remember talking to someone on one of my teams a few months ago. They were 2 months into the role, and I got on this call, and I was going over the initiative we need here on the team and the energy and all that. And this person was a wet blanket. And I can't help but think to myself, what the fuck happened with this person? Why is this person so dull? And then I thought to myself, damn, I wasn't as involved in the onboarding of this person, nor should I have been. But something feels off in terms of, I got to check in on who onboarded this person and what happened. And sure enough, the onboarding looked like it was flopped a bit. And this person would never make the cut. This person will not make 3 months into that company, right? So those first 30 days you have with someone new, especially an exec assistant, that's your opportunity to set the tone. The good habits or the bad habits will get set in those 30 days, right? And so really taking pride in I would be every day for 2 weeks, meeting with them every morning for about an hour to get them up to speed on all the parts and rapidly assigning them things to do every time. So by tomorrow, I want you to do this. By tomorrow, this, and having them send you end of day reports every single day. Those end of day reports should never stop. Whether you want them in Slack or in text, they should come to you every day at 6 p.m. EST or whenever you want them. Yep. And if that person misses twice of them, you should fire them. That would be my standard. Okay. Yeah. I don't I straight up do not fuck around with people that are around me in my sphere, because the number one thing is I need peace of mind. And if I'm bringing you on and I'm paying more money out of our profits to bring you on, which brings me less peace of mind to some extent because it's less profit, you better be contributing back to the company 10x more than obviously just what I'm paying for the risk of bringing you on. And I expect around me that the people that are coming on really start to punch above their weight class. So in those first 30 days is a chance for you to set the tone, right? The end of day reports, how to prepare you for meetings, how to organize your calendar, the do's, the don'ts, making sure they've gone through the onboarding. Sometimes I'll even quiz people on the onboarding every Friday, sending them a bit of like a few questions I want them to answer to make sure they've gone through it. And I want to start setting that tone and like that communication cadence that like there's a lot of parts of an executive assistant or a chief of staff role, like most roles, where it just comes down to chemistry. And I want to be able to kind of get that chemistry going, that kind of mind meld going on early on so that the person's practically reading my mind 2 months into the role. And so I think like it can also be a dynamic onboarding process too. It's not that everything's just systemized, right? Like you may find that something new came up, a way to answer an email. Maybe it's a kind of event you're doing and how you do those. The point is like constantly just kind of like teach them different things, run them through different ways you're thinking about decisions, what they've done right, what they've done wrong, make feedback a thing that's just like always happening versus it's like a once every 2 week thing. And I would just commit to like getting as much as you can off your plate by having these regular calls with this person and just bringing them up to speed with all the different facets of the role. So not just relying on them to go through a playbook and do it, but actually like teach them some of this stuff and go deeper in it, share your screen on a call and really instruct them through the different parts of it.
Yeah. And so I think all that makes a ton of sense. And I actually have Dan's template. I completely forgot about it. So I really appreciate you pulling that up too. It's super helpful. And we were in the process because of maybe I didn't do a few of the things you mentioned with the previous person, that we actually had put that into the new cadence, the new playbook. So I'll go through and update all those. And I've got a bunch of time tomorrow to kind of do a lot of this stuff. But we've talked about all the key points you mentioned. So I'll just integrate all that. And I think it's kind of like the part I failed at. I mean, if I'm going to be transparent, is that like sometimes it's like the feedback, you're kind of like, oh crap, they missed that. But all right, I'll just wait and see if it happens again. I'm like, that's probably not the best way to do it. It's just to kind of like, I like what you said. I've actually had a previous video editor that fucked around for a while. Then all of a sudden I stopped getting end of day reports and I was just like, but the job was getting done well. But then it just all started to slide. But as soon as you said that, it reminded me that it did start with the just slacking on one thing. And so I think that it's just kind of like the expectation from the beginning will be really helpful.
Yeah, I think like there's one part of it is like how you document all of it, right? But the other part is just your energy as a founder, right? Like founder energy is like contagious. That's why a lot of business, when they get taken over by some like professional CEO, they fall apart, right? Because it's missing like that founder spirit, like that level of care, attention to detail, the person that's like in the weeds, setting the bar, amping it up, looking at the details, looking at how something was sent and being like, hey, no, it's not that way. It's this way, right? I get on like feedback calls with like a sales team here and there, right? And I'm not just giving them feedback on like their discovery, their objection handling, their pitch. I'm giving feedback on like the first 3 seconds of a call. Did they bring like a good vibe, right? Did they make someone feel safe? Did they make someone like smile and feel like this is going to be one of the funnest calls of their day? And that's not like sales training. That's not some head of sales shit. That's like founder vibe of like, I'm looking at it. I'm watching some call recordings over the weekend and I'm like, we could do better here, right? Our whole mission is to be a founder's best friend. It's to have their back, almost like we would a brother or a sister. And maybe I'm seeing a call that just like didn't bring that energy. I'm going to give them feedback on it. And so the thing too, I'm saying to you is like, don't be precious about feedback. Giving feedback is not some big event. It's just a regular way of being in a company. And if you make it a big event, it'll become that. And giving feedback will be awkward and weird and people won't take it well. But if you bring on someone in a company and you're giving regular feedback as if that's just part of how you do it, it's a high feedback culture, then, you're going to operate in a place where it's just kind of the way of doing things, right? And I approach things more like building a sports team, right? Sports teams aren't precious about feedback. If you give someone an alley-oop and they didn't dunk it, you're letting them know they fucked up, right? Not like that, but you're letting them know like, yo, like next time, let's get this. Like I set you up. This is what I need next time, some preparation. I need your head in the game. Let's do this, right? If you're being precious, you're just reducing the amount of feedback loops. And I think you're reducing your ability to actually raise like top talent in your company.
Yeah, cool. Thanks. I appreciate it. It's going to be super helpful.
There you go. Pep talk over.
One last quickie. I wasn't going to say something, but as soon as my old EA was out the door and we decided to hire a new one and opened up all this stuff that I didn't want to deal with, and I said, I'm focusing my social a little different and I'm focusing on my program a little different. Just going back to the start where you said the mindset thing, because I'm very clear on that. I decided what I was doing, and within one day I sold a $13,000 program, and a week later I sold another one without even turning on the advertising for it. It's just like, I love the way the universe works, and now I can't wait to open up the content funnel.
Nice.
But good financial wins at a time where I really needed that to give you a little pep through it. So thanks for all the support.
Oh, good work. It's all you, man. I love to see it.